Hey guys, it's Monday, so that means it's time for my weekly draft video. We're doing more Shadows over Innistrad, as you probably expected. Before the draft starts, I do want to remind you guys I recently started a Patreon campaign. Donating there, everything would go towards improving my channel, so if you're interested in helping me improve it, that's something you can do. And I'll be back with you guys when our pack opens. Alright, let's see what we have here. Harness the Storm is not what you want to open as a rare for limited. It's completely unplayable, I think. I guess in some strange world where you get like 6 or 7 copies of like Fiery Temper, maybe it's worth it, but that's not going to happen. Deadweight's probably the best card in this pack, and it's probably what I'll take. It's kind of a weak pack in general. Aberrant Researcher is solid, and Just the Wind is as well. True Face Sensor also solid. Kathar's Companion's playable, and so is Kessig Darkswine and Lamplighter, but none of that's exciting. So I think we just take the good removal spell here. I think that's where we go. And maybe we get to wheel Call the Bloodline. Probably not, though. People like that card. It's good when you have Madness. It's good when you have Vampires. It's good when you want Delirium. It's good with Mass Pump effects. It's good in a lot of decks. But yeah, we'll just take Deadweight here. Well, there's an Ever After, which is, like, if you end up with a deck that actually mills itself, that's pretty good, but you have to end up there. And it might just be what I take, because this pack also isn't incredibly exciting. Moldgraph Scavenger's fine. Apothecary Geist is fine. Convicted Killer, Devil Thorn Fox, and even Ember Eye Wolf, they're all, okay cards. Same with Furtive Homunculus, but nothing in it's amazing. I think Ever After definitely has the most upside of what we see here. Biting Ring can be good if we end up in like a really control-y deck without any small creatures, but I think I just take Ever After here, and maybe we make a mill deck. It's at its best there, obviously. Well, here's a Puncturing Light next to a Sleep Paralysis. Blue is a pretty weak color in this format. I mean, when it's open, which it often is, it can still be good enough, but if like there's even one other blue drafter at the table taking all of the good blue cards, then it can get pretty ugly. There is a Mad Prophet here who does have synergy, I guess, with Ever After to a degree. But I think I take the removal in Puncturing Light over Sleep Paralysis. I think Paralysis is probably a better card on the whole, but Puncturing Light is, I think it's in a better color, and it's not that much worse than Sleep Paralysis. Mad Prophet is also worth considering, by the way, but I think I'm going to take the removal here. We have no creatures so far. Who needs them? So Tamiyo's Journal's interesting. So is Moorland Drifter. It's just like a fine card. Nothing amazing. Gone Missing's fine. These packs have in general been kind of weak. Emissary is probably what I take here, just because I'm already in white. Moorland Drifter's good, but Emissary, I think. I've picked up a lot of late Moorland Drifters in this format. If I hadn't, I'd probably take it here, but I think I take the Emissary here over like Gone Missing or something. Because white does look open enough. Black may not be, but we'll see what happens. Well, late Ghoulcaller's Accomplice is a pretty good sign that it's open. Vessel of Ephemera is also not bad, especially if we want to get Delirium. But I think we probably just take the Accomplice here. Actually, there's also a Geese's Bidding, isn't there? Yeah, I think I take that. I think that's what we go for. Yeah, that's what we'll do. We'll take the Bidding. Pious Evangel is also good, but I like Bidding more. Well, we're filling out our curve. Okay. So I think we probably just take Spectral Shepherd here. We could take like Drownyard Explorers, which I think is a good card, Ornithalia Moondrakes, which I think they're both good, but I think that just shows you how weak people think blue is. So maybe if we'd been taking all the good blue cards we'd seen, it would be good, but I think I'm going to take the Shepherd over like the Mob here. It's probably just going to be a 3-mana 2/2 flyer, a Windrake in our deck, but there are worse things. And that also means we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's kind of weird. Okay, late Moorland Drifter. I'll take it. Yep, I will. Dance with Devils is solid. This Angel, I guess it's a pretty sweet Ever After target if we start milling ourselves, but green actually has the best ways to mill itself, other than Crow of Dark Tidings, which is in black. And it is a sweet ever after target. And it does like Delirium. Should I just like go big or go home here? I'm kind of thinking about it. Maybe try to force a way to make the Angel work in our deck. Yeah, I'm going to do it over the Drifter. Just seems more fun anyway to do that. Right, it's a pretty late Sleuth and a pretty late Niblis, so again, blue is pretty open, but there's also a solid white card here in Reaper of Flight Moon Silver. And I think I take that here over the Stallion or the Unruly Mob. Right, well, we do take a Cathar's Companion now. It's perfectly fine. I didn't want to take it early, and it's good I didn't. I think here we take the Geist, too, so white's definitely open, which is good. And black is fairly open, too. I mean, Biting Rain is a fine card. You do need to have a deck that it's actually good in. But I think we take the Geist. We have two spirits already even, so you're just an angel, right? Yeah. So if we can find a way to discard her or anything, like we can sort of turn into a reanimation deck. Do we want a 3 mana 3/2 or a 4 mana 3/3 with a tiny bit of upside? This is a good sign that black's open, though, because these are both playable cards. I mean, neither of them very exciting. I'm going to take the 3, I think. Yeah, we'll take some fixing. That's not a bad thing to make it to us. So, definitely discard outlets would be good. Yep, I don't know if we're going to play it. We may not have enough creatures, but we will see. We definitely need some 2s. Like, I passed a few of them. Like, I took an Angel of Deliverance over a 2, I think. I haven't had a chance to play with it. I had it played against me once, and I still managed to win, but it was very difficult. I was ahead by a lot when my opponent played it, and he was at 2 or 3 life, and I was at 20, and I ended up almost losing the game. So, it's definitely good. You have to actually be able to cast it, and it is, like I said, if we can get into our graveyard, we're going to have fun with Ever After. And we do want to get stuff into our graveyard, but like I said, green has the best ways to do that, not black, sadly. But discard outlets do exist in black, and that's one way to get her in the graveyard without milling myself. I don't know. This deck might be pretty janky, but it seems like fun, and that's what I'm going for. Yeah, there's one. Yeah, we already have 2 spirits. That's not bad. Foreboding Ruins. None of those are worth a whole lot anymore as far as I can tell. We did get our gold card behind the scenes. Yeah, it's worth Foreboding Ruins is worth a ticket. What do we want here? I mean, we could take behind the scenes, but I kind of think it'll wheel. Like, unless someone else happens to be in black-white. Take a Wildfield Scarecrow to help us fix. I mean, a first pick Throttle is pretty terrible, but it might be what we do because we don't have a lot of removal. I mean, Rabid Bite is one of the better cards in this pack. That and Lambholt Pacifist are both very good. And Crawling Sensation in the right deck, but we're not in that deck, clearly. Although, I guess if we could splash green for it, it is a way to get our Angel in our graveyard. And we do have one piece of fixing. That's an interesting idea. Yeah, let's try it out. Let's see what happens. Let's go a little crazy here. Here's a discard outlet, but it's a pretty bad one. So, and we're not like, we can't build our whole deck around Angel of Deliverance. We do have other reasons to want Delirium, and Crawling Sensation plus Reaper of Flight Moon Silver is actually pretty great. We don't want Halpack Resurgence. Do we want a Gossip Monger? We might just want a Gossip Monger. It's not the most exciting thing. Vampire Witch. Wicker Witch does help you get Delirium because it's 2 card types. So, I mean, and this is another way to put stuff in my graveyard, but that's pretty bad too. So, Town Gossip Monger or Wicker Witch, basically, is what I'm on here. I think I'm going to take the Gossip Monger. I do need some early game. Not something I have at this point. Here's a Crow, which goes well in our deck, both for getting us Delirium and for giving us reanimation targets in our graveyard. So I think that's what we take. Yeah. I mean, I'll talk about some of the other cards here. I really like Hermit of the Natterknolls. It's overperformed for me every time I've gotten it. That's really all I have to talk about in this card, in this pack rather. So fixing would be good because it would let us play Crawling Sensation. We do have Epitaph Golem here, which lets you, like, that plus Crawling Sensation, you can mill like your entire deck and then draw whatever you want, but it's not that easy to do. It's better if we were like a black-green deck is where you can really, really get there with that. Or a green-black deck splashing white can do it, but that's not where we are exactly. So, we have Inspiring Captain here, who's perfectly fine. We also have the Epitaph Golem, like I mentioned, but I don't really see us, like, our deck's not going to mill itself out super quickly. The only way it will is if we play Crawling Sensation really early. I'll take the Captain here. It's not that exciting, but he is inspiring. Another Inspiring Captain, huh? Yeah, these packs, they're kind of drying up on us, but I'll take another Captain. We do have several flyers, and it gets way better when you have those. I could take Explosive Apparatus, actually. I could take the Apparatus. Apparatus versus Inspiring Captain. We already have one Captain. Apparatus is a removal spell, and it also can help you get Delirium. Yeah, I think I'll take it over the Captain. Well, there's an Autumnal Gloom. That's interesting. So, do we just want to turn into a black-green deck? I mean, we haven't seen the fixing, but this pack otherwise isn't that exciting for us. We could take a Mob, which is fine, I guess. And it does work well with Reaper of Flight Moon Silver. So yeah, it's either the Mob or Autumnal Gloom. And I'm not convinced I'll be able to splash green in this deck. So I'm going to take the Mob. Yeah, someone is getting in on our cards in this pack, that's for sure. I'm going to take the Corrupted Graphstone. We might actually be able to play it. We'll see. Okay, well that, I like to see a late Moorland Drifter and a late Inquisitor's Ox. I like both of them, but we'll take the Drifter. Because we need twos, and this Throttle Wield, and so did Behind the Scenes. I'm thinking about taking Behind the Scenes. I haven't actually played it ever. Throttle is good. Yeah, I mean, not good, but it's a removal spell I would play, obviously. And we don't have a lot of, like, super good removal, but I think I'm going to take Behind the Scenes, see what that does for us. Okay, I'll take Stern Constable here. It's a 1-drop. It's a discard outlet. We have a couple cards with Madness. We also don't mind discarding this. And I'll take another Strength of Arms. We're probably not playing two of them, though. I'll take a Root Out for my sideboard, which I'm not 100% sure we'll be playing green, but also not sure if this Vampire makes it. I think all of our other 3-drops are better. I've had decks that can just like mill myself really early, and the Graphstone would have been good in it, but every time I get it, I end up in a deck that doesn't quite get there on milling myself. Well, Not Forgotten's not terrible. I mean, I actually think it's, a playable. It's just not the most exciting playable. If we were really milling ourselves, it would be better because we could get back stuff that we wanted. Ooh. Foil Westvale Abbey. I've opened a ton of Westvale Abbeys in this format. I don't remember how many of them I've recorded, but this is like my 5th Westvale Abbey, which is kind of weird. It is 7 tickets, so we're taking it here. And we're not giving up a whole lot. A second Behind the Scenes might be fun, but it's not really that good in multiples. I mean, the best cards here are like these two, which are both only good in a specific archetype. And Vessel of Nascency is also quite good. If we were, that's one of the very good ways to mill yourself. If we were like a green-black deck running Ever After. But we're gonna take Westvale Abbey here. I mean, we'll play it too. So, in addition to it being worth a lot, yeah, I don't see us being able to play this Graphstone. We have a lot of... Oh, these are 2s. That's what's going on. Ooh. Hello. Well, well, we can be a control deck, it looks like, if we get Descend Upon the Sinful. Harvest Hand, Dauntless Cathar, and Murderous Compulsion are all things I would take, but Descend Upon the Sinful is just better than all of them. So, that's where we're going to go. Okay, well, here's a discard outlet, which is good if we want to be reanimating stuff. I mean, and it's worth noting that Ever After doesn't have to have Angel of Deliverance to be good at reanimating stuff. Even if I just have like Inspiring Captain and Spectral Shepherd in my graveyard, getting them both back for 6 mana is actually a pretty good deal. This is just like the sweetest thing we'll be able to do if we can actually do it. So this is about a discard outlet, which is good, but not, incredible for our deck. Accursed Witch is also good, but I think I have to take removal. Another Puncturing Light seems good. We might be set on removal now, especially because we have Descend Upon the Sinful, but we'll see. There's a Sleep Paralysis. Yeah, well, here's a Harvest Hand. I think I'd probably just take that. I could take like another Emissary, another Constable, or a Vampire Noble, but Harvest Hand's probably better. Can also get us to Delirium if it gets milled one way or another, although we really only have one way of milling ourselves, so it's not amazing. But we do have several humans, and it's better on humans, and it's good on anything, really. I mean, it gives you card advantage in a way because, especially if you can trade with it, and then you get it back because, then your opponent didn't really get rid of your card at all, because you get it back as an equipment when it dies, as long as they don't exile it. So I could take another mob, or I could take a Throttle. I think we take the Throttle. Now we're probably set on removal. Okay, I don't mind taking another good 2-drop, and I think we need one more than we need an Ox. I mean, I wouldn't mind the Ox. I wouldn't mind still picking one up, but... Ooh, I do like this Crow here, though. So there's a land here that could assist us in splashing for Crawling Sensation, but I think that'll dilute our deck a little too much. We don't have like enough Delirium payoffs. I mean, we do have a good Reanimator payoff, but we don't have a whole lot in the way of like Delirium payoffs. So I think we take the Crow. I mean, the Twins are worth thinking about, but we don't have that many discard outlets. We have way more reasons to want to be milling ourselves, and it's a flyer, so which I think is good. So Emissary, that doesn't help us splash. No. The Warped Landscape could. Strahd is okay, but like I don't think we have enough Delirium payoffs to want it. Isn't this our only card with Delirium? Yeah, we don't have enough. I mean, it can help us mill our Angel for our Ever After, but I don't think it's worth it. We could just take the Trick here, and I think I will. It's a solid Trick. Well, there's the other behind the scenes. They are terrible in multiples, so it's just like an extra card in your hand if you have multiples that you don't really want in your hand. What can we do with Eerie Interlude? We do have Inspiring Captain and Apothecary Geist, but I think that's it in terms of Enter the Battlefield abilities. I mean, I guess I'd take this over another Stern Constable. I don't mind this late Vessel. I will play it, I think. Goes well with our Westphale Abbey and with our Reaper of Flight Moonsilver. Pour Over the Pages is too good to be still here, but we're not there. Take the Mentor. I don't think we have any vampires, but hey, there's a vampire. Yeah, I'll take another Vampire Noble, I guess. And an Unruly Mob. I don't think we're playing 2 of those, but may not even play 1. Ooh, yeah, that's really late Inquisitor's Ox. I mean, he's not incredible by any means, but he is a very good, very solid card. So I think our colors ended up being plenty open. We definitely have some cutting to do. I guess black wasn't incredibly open, and I could have taken Signals to move into blue, because blue was pretty open, like it usually is. I could have late Pour Over the Pages, for example. Shouldn't happen. Yeah, we have a lot of trimming to do here. All right, let's get our 2 lands out of here. And think about what we want to cut. Do we want Ever After an Angel of Deliverance? That's something to think about. I mean, we can run Ever After without Angel of Deliverance, and it's still a decent card. Probably don't want 2 mobs. Let's group creatures separately. And yeah, those 2 stay over there. We definitely are happy with our Descend Upon the Sinful. We probably don't want Not Forgotten. It's not that great of a card to begin with. In terms of removal, we have Throttle, 2 Puncturing Lights, and an Explosive Apparatus. I mean, we have some Delirium payoffs, but I don't know if it's enough for me to want to be playing an Apparatus. I think we want this. Like pumping our whole team when we go wide is good, and Skulk isn't useless either. I don't think we want to run two of them, but one I think is good. Like lets my crows swing through a lot of the big flyers in the format. Stern Constable we probably don't need. So do we want Strength of Arms? I mean, I could probably just cut both of my tricks. I think we would do. Well, we have Descend Upon the Sinful as removal too. By the way, didn't mention that. We don't have a ton of discard outlets. I don't even know if we have any now that I cut the one card that did let us discard. But that's good even if you can't madness it. It's definitely better when you can because you can do it at instant speed and stuff. But trim. Do we want two unruly mobs? I think this Angel may end up not making our deck, sadly. I just think our deck's actually like more aggressive, than it is like wanting to play Angel of Deliverance on turn 12. So I think we keep Ever After though. Like I said, if it's just getting back like a Crow and an Ox, it's still some decent card advantage, and you're paying 6 mana for 7 mana worth of creature. I mean, I think that's something that can legitimately happen. It does have the downside of being in your hand early and being a dead card, but eventually it gets you some value. And we do run 15 creatures. So, I think we need to do the last of our cuts down here. So I think we probably lose an Apparatus. I could lose a mob too, I guess, and go to 14 creatures. I could do that. Yeah. Because I don't really want to lose any of the rest of the spells I have down here. The one that's the most borderline, I guess, is Behind the Scenes. Especially since we end up with fewer creatures. Yeah, it might be Behind the Scenes that I should cut. I mean, we do have our Vessel, which helps us go wide. We have Emissary of the Sleepless, which helps us go wide. That's pretty much it in terms of things that really help us go wide. So I think I'm going to lose it, yeah. Sorry, Behind the Scenes. It is one of the worst of that cycle of pseudo gold cards. So, and I think holding on to 15 creatures is important. I guess Geese's Bidding helps us go wide too, incidentally. But Westphal Abbey likes stuff that goes wide as well. But now, I have Geese's Bidding, I have Vessel of Ephemera, Emissary. We have another card that likes it when we go wide. We do have a lot of flyers too. I mean, it does create a lot of havoc in combat, just in general, because it can pump the whole team the way it can. So maybe I do just lose an Unruly Mob. I mean, Ever After is the only card that cares if the creatures are actually creature cards. The rest that like me to have creatures don't care if they're cards or tokens. So I think we still play Ever After, which does have sort of a non-bow with Descend Upon the Sinful. But that, by the way, is another reason for us to want to get Delirium, which I kind of forgot we picked it up. I kind of forgot. So that may make the Apparatus marginally better, since we have this, we have the Ox, we have the Reaper, and we have Moorland Drifter, who all are happy when I hit Delirium. But I mean, I have 2 enchantments that throw themselves in the graveyard, in Deadweight and the Vessel. I have multiple instant spells and multiple sorcery spells. I have a couple sorcery spells. And then I have lands. And the Crow really helps us with Delirium. But I may want something like the Apparatus, because it's a big payoff when you get to Descend Upon the Sinful. I could take out like Throttle. It is kind of a clunky removal spell. Or again, it could be Behind the Scenes. This deck, I mean, we kind of ended up, there were so many playables that it's hard to decide what we want to do. We definitely don't want to cut another creature. So it has to be a spell. So, I mean, I think we can get Delirium without the help of the Apparatus. We do have another artifact, although it doesn't actually go to the graveyard. But I think we can get there. So, yeah. All right. So 6-9. I think a little closer than that. Yeah, 8-7, and then we have the Sanctuary and the Abbey. Right, I think this is our deck. This one was particularly hard to figure out what we wanted to do. I mean, and I'm still sort of like, do I want behind the scenes or explosive apparatus more in this deck? I think it's probably behind the scenes. Like Delirium just is sort of like gravy on our creatures, but behind the scenes always is going to pump my creatures. So, yeah. All right, I think this is our deck. I'll see you guys in match 1. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.